Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. My name is Jaime, giving you exclusive vents on headlines that you didn't even know you needed. And you didn't even know you needed them. And that's why I'm here. And with that said, let's get on with some vents. So humans, remember they were talking all that shit? You know, like, we got to go to the moon and all that stuff like that. And then there's talks of a new moon mission, right? There's talking about all this new shit, right? But not that long ago, they were interviewing some guys that are some NASA astronaut. And they're like, why the fuck don't we go to the moon no more? And I don't know if you guys remember this, humans. So I have a quick clip. I don't know if you remember this, but I got to start it with this clip. If I could fucking hear the clip. Hold on a second.
Do that anymore.
Let me get this guy going again. Hold on a second.
In a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Okay, so they're telling us not that long ago that it was a painful process to rebuild this technology to go to the moon. But then all of a sudden we're already going to the moon like last week. Like all of a sudden we're already going back to the moon. But he said it's a painful process. We destroyed the technology, and it would take a long ass time to rebuild the technology to get back to the moon. So then all of a sudden we need a new distraction. Could this be a distraction? Like all of a sudden we need a distraction. Like, we're going to the moon again. And everybody thinking like, oh, Biden's doing good shit. You know, we're going back to the moon. But are we going back to the fucking moon? Because all this, a lot of shit seems like a lot of fucking bullshit, like world stage bullshit these days. A lot of stuff is just coming out to just revealing the bullshit. Nobody's really doing anything about it, but they're just like, oh, there really was bullshit. Or Fauci was bullshit. Oh, well, you know, on to the next show. You know, whatever the fuck. Like, everybody's just chilling like they didn't give a shit. I was just like, wow, just like that. You know, it's just, you know, wow. Cheers, humans. So anyways, about this fucking moon mission shit. Nobody really gave a shit, it seemed like. You know, it seemed like it was just a week ago. Nobody's even talking about it anymore. They were like, hey, they're going to the moon. Oh, yeah, so what? Nobody gave a fuck, so Biden started yelling at everybody, MAGA, you guys are MAGAs, and all this shit. Like, I'm going to go after you MAGAs, and shit like that. And he even had, like, the war red drop down in the back. You know, it was like the wall was bleeding and shit. Like, it was scary. You know, it's kind of creepy as my shit just went red for a second. Like, that was weird timing. I just got goosebumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch out for them poison darts. No. But anyways, that's going to cost them a lot of money, obviously, to go do that shit, right? And we sent like a fucking shitload of money, but who cares, right? Because he spent like $1 trillion in one fucking month. This president spent $1 trillion in 30 fucking days. Or whatever month you want to do if you want to be all fucking perfect about it. If it was 31 days or 20 fucking 8 days in a leap year. But it was a month. And he spent like shitload of money in that time. If that sounds better for anybody trying to be offended because I said 30 days. It was a fucking month and $1 trillion. That's all I'm saying. But and within that month, we gave all this money to Ukraine, right? Let's give money. We have a bunch of money to give Ukraine, I guess. And I guess we got a bunch of money for moon missions and all that. I guess we got money for that. And we got money to fucking make, but we don't got money for fucking food shortages. We got food shortages they're threatening us for, but we can pay for the moon missions and give Ukraine all kinds of billions of dollars. It's crazy. I don't understand the fairness of that. That dude spent $1 trillion in 1 month, humans, and we did get, and then we got to pay for the student debt. Like, we got to pay for the student debt, not those guys. Like, it's funny how he said every bill wasn't costing the thing, but it didn't cost those guys a thing. Our shit just keeps going up. Inflation's going high as hell. Our fucking food, they keep warning us this fucking food shortage shit. We're all fucking hoarding shit, you know? And they got money to fucking give Ukraine like billions of fucking dollars and pay for another moon mission. But you don't care about our fucking food shortages? But we got to go to the moon? There ain't nothing up there, man, except for all your fucking bases you already made. Your base is already there. You just want to go see it before. I think he just wants to go see it. Like when they let William Shatner get close to the fucking stratosphere. That he fucking was holy shit and he started crying. That was because they didn't let him fucking change his diaper. The dude shit like the other old people they sent up there. They just don't want to tell you that. And they want that drama, so they like put that camera in his face. And he was like, damn it, Jim. I'm William Shatner, you know. I just think that's so twisted that we can pay for all these moon missions, give Ukraine billions of dollars for this whatever fucking war that's whatever fucking going on. And then he could do all these fucking China deals. Nobody gives a shit. That's bananas. It's just bananas, humans. It just don't seem right. It just don't seem right at all. That's why I'm like, oh, really? Like, you're going to spend all this money, but you can't help us with food? Oh, really? And that's where the title comes from, man. Shit. Speaking of that, like, does anybody remember this from 2020? I was fucking around on the internet. Somebody was like, dude, you got to fucking see this. And I was like, you remember this shit? And I'm like, no. He goes, not many people fucking do. So he was like, you got to hear this. So this guy apparently just nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck about this guy. But listen to this shit from 2020.
I'm making this statement to set the record straight about the involvement of the Biden family, Vice President Biden, his brother Jim Biden, and his son Hunter Biden in dealings with the Chinese.
And no poison dart.
Joe Biden say that he's never discussed business with Hunter. That is false. I have firsthand knowledge about this because I directly dealt with the Biden family, including Joe Biden.
Okay, so this guy was apparently from 2020. I don't know if it's real or not, but isn't that weird how he was reading like, and I was with the Biden family? Like, dude, if you really did what you did, like, this is where I kind of feel like maybe this dude might not be telling the truth. Or if he is, because this stuff is happening now, like, I just feel like he sold it like bullshit. It's true what's happening with this business deals, right? But they ignored all this dude. But I think they ignored him because of the way he read it. He read it like, I am here, like he was a character from The Simpsons, and they like slowed the speed down. The playback speed rate was like slowed down. He was just like, I am here to tell you, and you're supposed to listen to Mayor Quimby. You know what I'm saying? And he fucking like, it's just hard to take him serious. But this dude came out in 2020 talking about all these shady deals. Nobody fucking raided Joe Biden. Nobody went after Joe Biden. Nobody went over to Joe and Jill. They didn't go up the hill for Joe and Jill. You know, to fetch a bag of crack. But like I'm saying, they didn't. I thought they went over to fucking to Trump's house and raided Trump's house for some fucking documents. But this dude literally came out here and told him, like, man, I done did some fucking dirt with these guys. And he calls them the Biden family. Here's a little clip again, like another piece of it. Like, I don't even know if he's legit, like I said, because he reads it weird, like a robot.
Biden and Hunter Biden. At my approximately hour-long meeting with Joe that night, we discussed the Biden's history, the Biden's family business plans with the Chinese, with which he was plainly familiar, at least at a high level.
Interesting.
After that meeting, I had numerous communications with Hunter, Walker, Gillier, and Jim Biden regarding the allocation of the equity ownership of Sinohawk. On May 13, 2017, I received an email concerning allocation of equity, which says 10% held by H for the big guy. In that email, there's no question that H stands for Hunter, big guy for his father, Joe Biden.
Okay, so like they were talking about that stuff like recently, like that this stuff was in like the, you know, on the laptop, and like nobody gave a shit. Like everybody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, shut up. You know, like, shut up. What are you talking about? You just crazy. You know, you're talking crazy right now. That's what they would tell everybody when they would talk about this shit, like, where's this laptop? But apparently this laptop was, you know, according to fucking Zuckerberg as well, the FBI was like, oh no, we're shutting this shit up. But that dude didn't get, luckily, thankfully, I'm going to have to make sure he's still alive. I don't think he got poison darted. But he was telling everybody this shit like back in the day, like, yo, like, these guys are shady as hell. And now they're in charge. He was vice president then, and he was doing all that shady shit. Nobody went over there and raided him. Imagine if they did raid the Biden house and like Joe's kid lived there, Hunter. And like, what would they find? What would they find in Hunter's closet? You know, they went into the 6-year-old fucking Trump son into his closet, probably found his porn or what the fuck they found. You know, they're super rich. Who knows what he's got in there? You know what I'm saying? But they went to a little kid's fucking room and went over there. And what if they went into Hunter Biden's room? What would they find in Hunter's closet? Which brings me to my next game. What's in Hunter's closet? Welcome, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, let's take a guess. We could just make some guesses on what could be in Hunter's closet. Like, what could be in Hunter's closet? Could it be... Let's see, contestants. Could it be hookers? You know, like survey says, you know, wait for a crowd to cheer or something like that. Was that good enough answer? Number one answer was hookers. Dead or alive. That would have got you the full score, sir. Sorry. If you would have said dead or alive hookers, you might have fucking got the full point score for the number one answer. But we'll continue, contestants. What else could be in Hunter's closet? Drugs. Like numerous drugs, possibly from A to Z. I don't even know which ones all start with all the letters, but like the ones that we know about for sure. C is definitely in there. We know C's in there. Like C is in that closet for sure. Like we know the crack's all up in there, you know. And then probably C in initials P, like for crack pipes. Like crack pipes, hookers, dead or alive. You'd probably win the game with just that answer. Like if I got a 2-point answer, you know. Like, I got a 2-point answer for this question, please. You know, and then you get the double score with drugs and dead hookers and cracks and crack pipes. Possibly cash stash. There's probably a cash stash in there for his hookers and his drugs. Because Lord knows he's not going to be like Smollett and pay with a check when he goes to his dirt. You know, you're not going to go do your dirt with a paycheck, with a checkbook. He goes and takes some cash. Unless it's big deal stuff where they do transactions. You know when it's big money, when they don't talk about like, you know, I'm going to pay you for this and buy this, or you just purchase this. When it's called like the transactions, they made like, you know, transacted funds. They transferred funds. That's when you know it's like a lot of money. Like you can make a transaction and you can handle a transaction. But when they transfer funds, like that's when it's like big dough. It's got to be. That's like, those are like big dough talk. We just transferred the approved funds. That ain't shit that I've ever said. That's only shit that I've only read. One day, maybe. Doubt it. But anyways, it'd be some cool shit. But I'm just saying. That's like rich people talk. But what else could be in Hunter's closet? Let's see, humans. What about like all kinds of old cell phones and other laptops? Like that could be another strong possibility, humans. There could be all kinds of more laptops, like old computer shit and like hard drives and shit like that in there. And then like more drugs, of course, like by the hard drives, he's probably like was snorting or breaking stuff up on top of them. And then let's see what else. Like old cell phones, like old flip phones and like old what are them fucking things called back? The Blackberries, you know. And he's probably got a razor and some other fucking shit in there, you know. And like all them old style phones, he's probably fucking working with, and it's probably all in that closet. But the laptop, he decided to go get fixed like a dumbass. So when they go into his closet, I feel like all of these, I feel like are right answers. And let's not forget like the main reason they would go in there, which they probably would say they didn't find, but that would definitely be in there, was documents. They don't have to fucking documents, humans. That's what I believe they fucking say. But that was a fun time playing What's in Hunter's Closet. I wonder what else could be in there. Possibly the souls of other victims that we don't even hear about. I still think it's weird that he has a tattoo of those Finger Lakes on his back, and with all the weird dark tales of that place that is tied to in that area involving children. Gross. Man, oh man, that's really gross. But speaking of involving children, humans, I got to drop this quick one real quick. I just saw there was some allegations. I don't even know what's like the first. I found out. I did a little reading. And I found out this quick little bit I was going to drop with y'all. I guess Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish are accused of grooming and molesting siblings in sexually. And I was like, oh my God, this can't be real, you know, and I go and check it out. And apparently they're saying that this allegations could be legit because I guess they wrote a skit. I guess they filmed the skit and the people refused to put this skit on TV because it was very, very fucking risky. I guess they had some underage people, I believe. One was 7 years old and one was 14. I don't remember which was which. But I guess they had the girl, like, you know, pretend she was doing sex acts. And the boy, like, half naked and doing other shit like that in this skit. And they were super underage. And that was super wrong. And so I guess they're catching some heat for that shit. So speaking of children. And I wonder if that stuff's going, like I said, I don't really feel like this could be a conspiracy too much, and it might offend some people. But this thing, like I said, they go after all these people, but they still ain't trying to mess with these fucking clients. These people that were fucking possibly still doing what they're doing to these underage people, these underage humans. And I feel like it's really wild that nobody's even want to touch this. Nobody's even going to touch on this. And then you got people coming out. And of course, they're going to jump on them, right? And they're going to fucking bring down all this shit on them. But they're not going to go after the other people. They're not going to go after the other people that are doing these things on a higher level. Like, I mean, they were trying to do a skit for comedy. And maybe they didn't think it all the way through by using these underage people. Unless that was their whole intent, was to use underage people. Then it is kind of fucked up. Like, that's fucked up on y'all. Even though you did try to do some comedy shit. It probably would have still been funny with adults. I'm just saying. I just think if that's just a bad move. Best of whatever happened, you guys, you made that bed, you got to lay in it. But I still think this client thing is very important. I don't think nobody should let this go. And it's just wild that nobody really fucking touches on it, which that's how fucking how powerful that shit goes. And what if they were doing something like that to continue their career? What if they were pressured by those higher ups to, if you want to stay in the limelight, like, oh, your kids, your relatives looks cute, or that's a handsome young man, a young fellow over there, and we could put him in films, and then you fucking talked him into doing this shit, but you had like a back scenario on it, and if that's the case too, man, double shame on y'all, But anyways, humans, I feel like I said, we can't let this shit go. It could be some stuff about that island in Hunter's Closet. And I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I'd appreciate if you would smash that subscription and the like button with notifications. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.